episode 8 of Comp Let Loose. I'm joined with God's Gift from Legion and Maho from Merc. So this is now the second episode, technically, this week. I don't know if you guys have all been able to see Wednesday's episode, but if you haven't, definitely check that out. Some quick future plans. I believe next week I'm going to be having somebody from one of the newest clans. A lot of you guys, I don't think, probably don't know who they are, but it is the 34th. I just happened to see them in Winter War League post what their logo looks like, and I was like, shit, never heard of these guys before, so might as well get them on, get them FaceTime and people get to know them and, them able to get themselves out there. But we'll jump right into it. Maho, I think you are the first one from Merc. So is this something that you guys have been watching and have been wanting to be a part of? Because I know that there's been a lot of talk about some EU clans and a lot of shit talk sent, the EU way. So, what do you think about all that?
Well, I mean, for me, it was probably an impulsive decision after I watched Hoof. Come on, last episode. That was quite the episode. I was talking to him today. No, I think I'll back up the EU side of How Let Loose with saying that I think the 7th are fairly overrated, to be honest. I mean, a West Bend on Foy is a sell. The last couple games Mercs had, yeah, we lost, but it's been the closest game. We dominated them for 70, 80 minutes on Dumont. And I'm sure HLE will dominate them in the next game they have. Isn't that right, Hans?
Dominate is such a strong term.
It is.
What really was happening was we found this EU clan that we wanted to give them Germans and server, and then practice if we didn't get midpoint first.
Oh yeah.
So we're just seeing what was happening there.
And it struggled to capture it for how long?
Yeah.
So,
working on different plays.
Yeah.
So, Maho, has Comp Let Loose been something that has been talked about within Merc? Trying to get somebody on, because I know the timing isn't the most opportune for you guys, so I know it would have required a little bit of coordination, but at least getting you on was a lot easier than I thought it would be, getting someone from Merc on the show.
I don't sleep. I'm practically American, so it was really easy for me. But I do know there are some very loud voices in the community that wanted me to say a couple things. I wanted to get on, but not to be.
Go ahead and say it, dude.
Oh, well, I mean, fuck the 7th. I mean, I can start with that one. But yeah, I'll refrain from saying too much.
So it's been a lot of fuck the 7th comments and everything. Would you consider now, I guess, Legion as Merc's biggest rival?
Yeah, I think generally HLE I think is a better team than Legion. Yeah, you can smile all you want. I think they're a better team than Legion, but I think I would rather win against Legion than HLE. It would make me feel a lot more better.
So
Makes sense.
So what makes you say HLLE is better than Legion?
Well, I've played both teams recently, and I just think HLE gave us a harder game in all aspects, really, across the field. The two recent games we had against Legion was El Alamein and obviously St. Marie Dumont. It was a 3-2, both of those games, and
Yeah, they were good games.
they were fairly close, like, to be fair, but the HLE game, 45 minutes, it was a 3-2. We were really fighting them on the midpoint, but after that, they kind of, they broke us down, and I just think their overall infantry and the squad tactics probably, outdoes Legion there.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, Maho, I'm gonna get this question from Pookie out of the way. He wanted me to ask you, and he put this italicized, so I'm just gonna air quote it. He wanted me to ask you about fun facts. I don't know if that's like an inside joke or what.
Yeah, it was an inside joke.
Well, no, you're gonna have to elaborate on that now.
Oh god. Yeah, fuck you, Pookie. So back when I was in the first, like, years ago, before even like private servers, and no one knew jack shit about this game, so I got sleep deprived one night. I stayed up for like 48, I don't know how long, and one game consisted of me of just spitting out like really basic facts that would be today, but me thinking them they're really special, but yeah, that's basically that.
Like facts about the game, or just facts.
Just
in
the
general?
game, like stuff like Panzerschreck penning. Oh, actually, that's fantastic. Actually, Pookie didn't know. I can make fun of Pookie here. He didn't know you could pen the side of a 76 with a Panzerschreck until I think a couple months ago. So maybe he should have been paying attention in those fun fact lessons. Yeah. Yeah, but no, just little things, HE can kill the back of a, you shoot the side of a Lux with HE if you hit the right spot, the
Mhm.
light cannon can hit the front of a Lux's mantlet, just little things like that,
Yeah, yeah. Pookie is in the chat. You guys are both on PC, so you should be able to open the chat up
Where is
so you can follow along. For me, it's on the right side of the screen. I don't know if I can see something different than you guys can, but on the right side of your screen, you should see something about chat.
Studio chat?
Oh, I see it, yeah.
Live stream
Oh, yeah.
chat.
Oh.
Didn't
Yeah,
know the
Pook-
Panzerschreck one, Pookie. Didn't
Yeah.
know the Panzerschreck one.
Pookie's talking to you in there, Maho.
We already got jokes about Cooter's mom in here.
So I asked Maho, who he considers to be their biggest rival, but I've asked a couple other Legion guys this. Who would you consider to be Legion's biggest rival?
Oh, well, probably just from past history. The 6th, when they've been able to beat us, and when HLE and Merc beat us last. We had a completely different game plan.
Mhm.
So, different team. I think that the 6th played incredibly well.
Yeah.
And I think that the game against Merc was harder than the game against the HLE, so I'm kind of surprised that Maho says that we're their biggest rival.
Hmm. So, I was talking Wednesday about how, at least within the United States, it seems like, Legion is right now kind of like a step above the rest. So with you saying the 6th, that's not the first time I've heard that. If you were to match up Legion and the 6th, how would you say, like, what part of the 6th gives you guys the biggest fits?
I think just they didn't set up how we expected them to. I don't know if anybody else talked about it, but we expected them to go more map control before the push, and then if you go back and you watch like the video on the side by side, this is all information that's out there, so it's not like I'm spilling anything. They sent everybody to the center circle where we went for map control, and there was an audible for artillery to hit certain spots, and it just wasn't where they were, and that made it so it was a really good advantage for them doing that
Yeah.
45 man straight to the circle.
Mhm.
I think that was pretty huge for the game against the Six that we had, and that's the only game that I've lost with Legion.
Yeah. So, I don't think I've asked any of the Legion guys this before because we're always talking about, and I mean rightfully so. Probably the teams that match up the best against Legion would be the Sixth, Merc, HLLE. But within the United States, what team do you think matches up the best? I mean, you're beating all of them, but like, what team would you say is like the one that matches up the best against you guys, or at least puts up the biggest fight?
Maybe maybe the first.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna shout out 4AD though, because we played them twice, and I was surprised how well they did for their openers.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think this second, it's probably the first, but we haven't played them anytime recently. I think we have something going on with them tomorrow. But
Yeah.
typically, they do the best of not losing their fourth point.
Yeah. So you guys have been playing. I wasn't a part of this past one on Wednesday, but you guys have been playing the Eighth a lot recently. How would you say like those games against the Eighth are going? I mean, both of them.
What
I know.
map was that?
I don't know what you guys played on Wednesday. I think it might have been Saint Marie
Oh,
Dumont or
it was
Saint Mary
Dumont.
Glise or something.
Yeah.
The one that was like 3 weeks ago, I think was on Utah, and both of them ended up being 5-0s. But
Yeah.
how would you say playing against those guys are?
So I was playing the backlines for both those games, gonna just make fun of Phantom. Him and that stupid haircut, I can see it from like 80 yards out. And the like when he was running through the wheat, I think I killed him 7 or 8 times because I could see his stupid like side cut thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean those games went fine. One thing that Utah and the Dumont game, we took out the attacking Garys within 3 minutes of wall going down on both games, multiple Garys, which really is difficult to recover from. So if there was that like starting Gary protection right off the bat, I think that we'd be looking at like more consistent or better games. Because losing 2 Garys or like losing a truck and like the point push Gary is pretty big.
Yeah.
So after that like initial, like I was in the back lines for the most part. So I'm just dealing with your recon and then, your 1 or 2 squads that are back there trying to mess with us.
Mm-hmm. Would you say right now the Legion team you have, how would you compare the Legion team you have right now to the 7th at their peak?
Well, I've only been in the 7th since TOCF disbanded.
Okay.
So that was right after the either the Merc or the HLE loss of last season.
Yeah.
So peak, I don't know. I don't know about peak, but my feeling from peak when we were just steamrolling teams, we've got a lot of new people. Like I think there's 13 new recruits right now, and a lot of people are taking breaks, just like every team. So, I don't think that we're there. I don't think that we're to the point where the 7th was, or even last season. I think we just got to get our recruits trained up because there's a lot of new guys.
Yeah. Divinity, we're not getting the air mattress back. Sorry, that's dead. That's gone forever. What else? No, there's no snow in the background. He messaged me like 10 minutes before the show started saying he can't make it. It's probably the International Glizzy Contest, like Snoochie said. But Maho, so how would you say Merc has been like since? Because obviously you guys aren't in TFL, but in the downtime between TPL and Summit, what are you guys doing to keep your teams busy?
Oh, we've been just trying to scrim as many good clans as possible. Um, I mean, we scrimmed Legion. How many? We did 2 scrims with you guys.
Yeah,
Was it?
fun games.
Yeah. I think that was 2 with HLE we did. Yeah, 2 scrims with HLE. Taco won't scrim us. I don't know why. They're like, well, I do know why. They said, I'll let it open. They're like, we've got a plan specifically made for you guys. Like, okay, all right. 8th won't scrim us. Yeah. Ghosting our DMs, so can't do 8th. We're struggling to find it. Actually, this Sunday was the first Sunday we couldn't find a single clan to scrim, which is funnily enough. We messaged pretty much every clan in the community, and no one wanted to scrim us.
On a Sunday?
Yeah, on a Sunday. This Sunday.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of hard for a lot of the American teams being football fans. You know, the real football fans.
Mhm.
'Cause, you know, football games are on Sunday, not that soccer shit.
Yeah, I think Taco reached out and told one of our guys that the reason they weren't scrimming is they're working on their 13-man rocket snipes. So I'm looking forward to that. It'll either be like a great thing, or else it's gonna be real shitty, and they're all gonna be out of rockets, you know, pushing mid. One of the two.
Yeah. So something else I'm gonna jump into real quick is I have some bloopers from Blue Chew and Libby that I downloaded. So I'm gonna share my screen real quick and we'll watch those. Hold on. There you go. So this is from Blue Chew. I mean,
Okay.
so with that, like, do you think that guy saw him there and just like accepted it and like I watched that and I'm like, did that guy like not see him?
You
and
needed
we're
a bandage. You didn't see it?
We're missing the bigger point. The blooper was him dropping like 4 guys and then missing 1 shovel. I think that's the funnier part.
Divinity just said my ears, so I'm guessing it's because it's a little too loud. So hold on, let me turn this down. This is
Yeah, that was for sure Libby's Zen. Yeah.
Actually, while
I
we're
heard the
here,
chips right there.
Yeah, no. That
while
was
we're here,
for
we'll
sure
just go
keyboard.
through the rest of these. Hold on. Let's see. This is also from Libby. Some of these I haven't watched, so this will be a live reaction for me too. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Let's see. This is from Pookie. Oh my. Okay, I don't know why that's in bloopers. That should be a highlight. This is from Lev.
heat
into
I
their
needed
head
water.
within 10 minutes.
Dude, that guy was so garbage. See what I did to him?
Okay, to be fair, he was using a grease gun. This is Libby again. Let's see. I did watch this one. This is pretty good.
Are we still on bloopers?
No, that was a highlight.
Yeah. So that was pretty good.
All right, let's get back to this. Stop sharing. So, now getting into getting back into some of the questions. With TPL starts first before Summit will, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so for both of you, I'm guessing both Legion and Merc are going to be participating in this upcoming TPL season.
Absolutely.
So we'll start with Legion. What are your guys' goals going into this TPL season? Because it's going to be the first like competitive tournament that you guys are going to be going into as, you know, a new group. Well, you know, like new group by name, but not new as in the players together. So, you know, what are you guys hoping to achieve in this season?
Oh, I think most people just really want to beat HLE again. I think that's kind of become like a running joke that they've gotten second or I guess fifth or sixth or whatever it was this season. But I think beating sixth is now like the highest priority.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of very, very dedicated players doing all sorts of. Sorry, Snoochie fucking putting all these comments make me laugh. God damn it. We've got a bunch of just crazy good players, and like the amount of time that they spent setting up for games is huge. Like even maps that like we know we're not gonna play, like hours and hours and hours. So getting ready for that.
What about over at Merc?
I mean, I think seventh, well, Legion, sorry, is what we wanna beat. Definitely, I think definitely a victory would be very sweet. But I mean, taking it home, you know, it's gonna come home to the league, to Merc, sorry, Merc this TPL.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm guessing it's going to be the same thing for Summit, same goals.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, what teams are on Summit that aren't on TPL? Do we know?
I can look to see if I can find anything via their Discord.
I don't know who Glenn Powell is.
You know, what confuses me the most is how sixth gave you such a hard time. I mean, when we played them, we won 4-1 on St. Meriden 1.
It was like night fog though, wasn't it?
It was night. Yeah, I'll give you that, right?
On the Aussie server.
Because
Because that
we did
shit
West
sucked.
Coast, I think. We did neutral.
Yeah,
we did West.
We did Aussie, and it was stupid. But I still do think that the biggest issue that we had was the shift of artillery. I think that we really could have done some damage early on. Mid cap's the most important part of the game. So unfortunate, but we learned from it.
Yeah. While I'm trying to find the answer to that question, what teams are in Summit that aren't in TPL? I know you said earlier when I asked you what teams have been giving Legion the biggest fits, and you mentioned surprisingly 4AD, at least with their opener, has been surprisingly good. But
Yeah.
how do you think it's going to be now that Berserk and 4AD have merged? How much do you think that's improved their team?
I really have no idea. Berserk lost a lot of really good players. Like they were hurting for a while. Like they went from having, Endarkment, Fox, Mac, Bear Jew, and then with the whole split off to Rage and then guys going to 3/5. I have no idea what Berserk has left in the tank. But I know 4AD had a pretty good base.
The merges around Berserk have both kind of, at least to me, come out of nowhere. When Berserk, I guess, imploded, I didn't see that coming. And then the whole 4AD and Berserk merge, didn't see that coming either.
Right.
I was definitely surprised to see 4AD. I could see 4AD merging with Berserk. I mean, that makes sense because even though 4AD has been playing, very well recently, they were still, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, a smaller team. But I think I didn't mention this on Wednesday because I thought of it after the show. But one thing that surprised me more than just the merge itself was the fact that 4AD took on Berserk's name. I thought it would have been the other way around because, I mean, Berserk mentioned themselves that they can't field 50, so you would think that the smaller group would join the bigger group and take their identity, but, I don't know if it was just because the name Berserk and, the history behind it was, more established within the comp community or what, but...
Yeah, I mean, Berserk was one of the top teams there for a second, right when the 8th was starting to pick up. I remember thinking that Berserk was right underneath 7th for the American teams, way above 1st. From what I was told, that they had a lot of politic issues, and that's super unfortunate. But
yeah, I think that's the downfall of. It seems like that ends up being the downfall of these groups is the politics and stuff behind it. It's what led to Berserk imploding. I still don't understand the implosion behind the 7th. I know what happened, but why it happened, I still, am a little confused on. And maybe some of the former 7th players are confused on it too.
Yeah, I mean, I had so many people blocked in that server because the toxicity was just through the roof, and it was I can't even look at the members chat.
Yeah. So okay, so that just made me think of another question. So.
Oh, okay.
Being a member of Legion, knowing the way that a lot of the groups, or at least members from the different groups, view you guys as being a group of just or at least you guys have had or have I guess at least Discord toxic people. Is that something that the members that aren't toxic try to distance themselves from, or is that an identity that you guys have just kind of taken on and are okay with?
I think for one, nothing that happens, if something is gonna happen to the 7th, everybody gets on to chew their asses out, right?
Mm-hmm.
If another team, if there's a super toxic guy and another team picks him up, nobody says a fucking word. But yeah, we have a crazy amount of toxic people. when we were in the 7th, and then the transition. Most of it was the guys that didn't play, which was wild. They'd come in drunk, say something ridiculous, and then we'd be all like, "Oh, okay, I guess that's happening." But I think everybody like really wants to be done with the whole toxic thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then like people like me, like anybody that's I think is ridiculous, I've blocked on the page.
Yeah.
So I just don't want to listen to them. I'm not gonna put up with it.
Yeah, I mean, Maho, have you kind of noticed that too, or like kind of gotten that feeling from the 7th members? Because like, I mean, I know it's not only narrowed down to just 7th members, but it seems like when toxic shit used to happen, they were involved in the 7th, or at least that's how it looked like to me. And I don't know if it's just because, you know, you were so, like, at least for me, I was so used to the toxicity coming from a 7th member that, you know, I just focused on that. But is that something that, you know, you have noticed, that if you tend to see toxicity within the community, it's typically from a member of the 7th?
No, I love the 7th. I fucking play with them all the time. I think 9% of 7th guys are so funny and chill.
Mhm.
Like in game, you just play with them and they're normal. Like on the Discord chats, I think everyone gets a bit crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's same for some of our Merc members. I know we have some very passionate Merc Discord, you know, TPL chatters. So yeah, I like the 7th guys, and you know, there's a lot of people don't, but I think they're chill. You know, even Hoof, I love Hoof. Not many people likes him, but in game, you know, he's very nice, very normal.
Yeah. Divinity wants to see Bear Jew on the next podcast, so it looks like I'm gonna have to reach out to him.
That's wild.
Snoochie said Hans looks like the guy who circles back around in the communion line at church to get drunk.
Yeah, that's wild, dude. I think Monkey Brain just let it be known, like what one of the things was for the drinking game.
Hans looks like the weed dealer from every high school comedy ever.
Brad.
Divinity said, "Is that a Star Destroyer behind him, or am I just gay?"
I think most of you guys should know what that is. Comment if you don't know what that is, or no, comment if you know what it is. That should be a very well-known thing to anybody that knows anything about World War II. And it's fucking sick too. It's
Yeah,
4
that.
feet long.
Where did you get that from?
I don't know, some bullshit like painting website. It
Uh-huh.
was like $500, but I love it.
Hans looks like a shaved Richard Simmons.
God, can you guys like say people that I know? There's been 3 names that I have no fucking idea.
You don't know who Richard Simmons is?
No, I didn't grow up with television.
Okay. Hans looks like the stalker dad from Ted.
That's just wild.
You may have seen Divinity say this too. Hans looks like a ginger Gardner Minshew.
I don't know what it is about the lighting, and I'm definitely not ginger.
Bear G wants to know, what kind of wine are you drinking?
Bogle's Infidel. Hey,
Pookie said, I kind of thought it was a painting of the Titanic getting its ass kicked.
come on. Somebody knows what that is. Nobody said it.
Divinity wants to buy that for $2.
Yeah. Sick.
Shit, what else?
But going back to the whole toxicity thing, at the same time as everybody's ridiculous over text messages, like you saw Woof on the last podcast, he so easygoing when he talked.
Oh, yeah.
Like one of the nicest guys. But you like, I don't even know if he's allowed in any of the groups, but yeah, he's so nice in person.
Yeah. That's actually something that has honestly been like some of my favorite things about doing this podcast is I remember back when the first shit talk server was a thing, and me, Backpack, and Wolf would like go at it, just like fucking back and forth for hours, dude. And I've had both of them on the podcast since then, and both times having Backpack and Malarkey on, and then having Wolf on is like it's been great talking to them, because it shows like you were saying, it's just like a Discord thing, just talking shit to one another. But then like you talk to them and they're like completely normal.
Yeah, 100%. Has the Six played anybody? We haven't talked about that Six very much. And no, it's not the Hood, dumbass. God.
You know, I think if
Snoochie,
I think
you're
if
gonna have
people
to
spent-
elaborate on that.
Oh shit.
But go ahead, Maho. What were you saying?
I was gonna say, I think if people spent as much time playing the game and like talking in game rather than typing on Discord, they'd probably be a lot better. You know, I just think there's way too many really terrible people, like bad players, that have the biggest mouth and just talk on Discord all day. Like I hop in there for like 5 minutes and I say, "Oh, what's going on?" And it's the same names, and I'm like, just play the game, you know? Just get better.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
popular names on the TPL server that I've never seen in a game.
Like who?
Like Charizard. I don't even know who the fuck Herc is, but apparently we don't like him. And then Killa. Never seen any of those guys.
I'm not gonna name names. A couple of them are from my own clan, but yeah, I think you know who you are. You know who you are.
But you were asking like who have the Sixth played recently?
Yeah, I mean,
So
they beat us, and then I haven't heard anything about them.
so the Sixth they're in TFL. Right now the Sixth is, I want to say, I know they're undefeated. The Sixth is 6-0. So the teams that they have played, I think they 5-0'd. I think everyone but 3-5. They
Which is wild. That's the
yeah.
last game they played, right?
No, the last game they would have played was against Berserk. Yeah, the last game they played was against Berserk. So all the teams that the Sixth has played in TFL so far was they played the 21st. It was a 5-0 50-minute victory on Carentan night. They played the 8th. That was a 5-0 on one of the beach maps. I'm trying to see which one it was. I think it might have been Omaha, maybe? Omaha or Utah. They played 101A. That was a 5-0. They played 4AD. Oh, no, sorry. They played 3-5s. That one I think was a 3-2. They've played 5ID. And then this weekend, then they played Berserk. That was the game they just played against Berserk was after the 4AD merge. And then this weekend they play the first on Foy. So I think that'll be a good game to see
What
the
side?
outcome
What side do they have?
of.
Does it show you?
Yeah. So we've been doing like coin flips, and then they made a whole like banning bot essentially. So the team reps, there's like, I can't remember who created it,
Good shit,
but
there,
someone created a bot so the team reps can ban maps. So when they do the coin flip, whoever wins the coin flip can either elect to receive an extra ban, or they can receive, or they can elect to host the lobby. So the first is going to be allies. The sixth is Axis on Foy.
Are they doing it on the Japan servers or?
I'm going to see what server they're playing on. I believe it's. I'm trying to see who won the toss and who wanted the extra ban or to host the server. It's so I don't know who's hosting the server, but it's going to be either wherever the first server is based out of or the sixth server is based out of.
Oh, the first server is, we've got one in Europe, and then they've got one in the East Coast.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
TFMC has their server in Japan, which is super nice because the guys get like in the mid 100s versus
Yeah.
Australia where everybody's at 300.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where that server is going to be at, but it looks like West Bend is going to be midpoint.
No fucking way.
Oh my God,
They
I just
want
dropped my
that?
fucking baby. Yeah.
Wild.
Aiden from the first said West Bend incoming.
And wait, hold on. The first has the Axis? Is that what you said?
No, first is allies.
Good lord. What
Yeah.
have you guys done to yourselves?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just reading their.
Am I
reading
wrong,
the
Maho?
chat.
Do you not think that's ridiculous?
Yeah,
so.
it's yeah, no, I think he yeah, it's pretty just that's pretty ridiculous to be honest.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild.
Yeah. So. What would you guys? So they voted on this earlier when the private servers first came out, but it seems like teams are going back and forth on it. As long as both teams agree to it, would you like to know going into a comp game what the point locations are going to be,
Maho, you take this
or
one.
just leave it completely random?
Gosh. You know, I think it matters. Yeah, I'm still here. I think it matters. But I don't know. I could see people. I mean, we do it as well in Merc. Like we just prep for all 3 points. I mean, it's not too difficult. You just have 3 different strats for each point, and you go into the game, and it's like, oh, you know, this is what we're doing. It just makes prepping a little bit harder, I guess. Like you prep a little bit longer. I think what's more important is the map, to be honest. If we're gonna have random maps, it almost needs to be like 10 minutes before the game, so that not an hour is way too early.
Mm-hmm.
The random points, I don't think it really affects it that much. I
Yeah.
mean, if you get an hour to know it, you can plan on 3 points pretty quickly.
So I will show you. I will show you how the bot works for TFL because I think it's pretty cool. So it seems like lately, the way that the bot is working is you're gonna know what side you're gonna be on, and then as long as the teams agree, you'll know what the points are. Like when we played 3-5 on Hill 400, we knew going into the game where mid was gonna be. It was gonna be the hill.
We should talk about that game.
Oh yeah, I actually have that saved. So this is how the bot goes. So yeah, so this is between 5ID and the 6. So 5ID won the coin flip and chose to ban first, so the 6 got to host the server. So what they do is each team or each team rep takes a turn banning the map. So not necessarily like banning the map, but basically this means like their first ban was Carentan allies, which means they don't want to play on Carentan as the allies. That doesn't necessarily ban the map outright. So if the 6 came in and said, okay, well, if 5ID banned Carentan allies, we're going to ban Carentan Axis, which obviously then that eliminates the map. And it just keeps going like that. So then they banned Remagen Axis, so on and so forth. Go ahead.
So, if you ban Axis, doesn't that mean you can still play allies, and then 5ID can play Axis? Wouldn't
Yes.
they both have to ban the same side for it to be banned map?
No, well...
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, I just wanted to...
Yeah.
Alright.
So
How the fuck is Foy not a banned map?
I don't know because there's two Foy games this weekend. Us against 101A and we are on week 7, so no, I'm sorry. We are going to be playing week 8 we're on. We're going to be playing 5ID on Foy, and this is our point layout. So
Let's
that's
do the TFL.
Yes, this is in TFL.
And this is probably the most equal one out of all of them.
Yes.
Can you pick your offsets? Can you pick your second point, like each team, or is it random? Sorry.
That I'm not
That'd be a rough
100%.
offset.
Yeah, I'm not 100%
Americans.
sure on that. Like, I know this message on the 16th, so 4 days ago, the points were listed. How they get there, I'm not 100% sure because I'm not involved in the voting or whatever. So we'll go back to, this will be the 8th and 3-5. So you see they're going back and forth banning and everything. The way that the sides get picked is whichever map and side is left at the end of the banning. So
I like that.
the one thing that 5ID did not ban was allies for Foy, and the last thing we didn't ban was Axis for Foy.
That's wild. That's fucking wild.
So that's how the side is. That's how the
Who
side of the
knows
map
that?
is picked.
That would have been my first ban. My first ban.
Yeah.
An allies Foy. What the fuck?
Yeah, and
I did that.
eighth won the pick or the coin flip, so we got the extra ban.
Yeah, I mean
Who's
that's a lot
panning?
better than what's happening with us right now with the HLE game.
What do you mean?
So we've got the HLE scrim tomorrow, and they're not even talking to us, but they want to do 2 maps for each team, and then basically like day of let it go of which map we're gonna do.
That's weird.
It's shitty because everybody's gonna get ready for their own maps, and then hold on. Everybody's gonna get ready for their own maps, and then whoever gets on like the wheel, they're gonna have a huge advantage. I like the system a lot better, where you guys work through the different layers
Yeah,
to figure out what you're gonna do.
yeah.
Because
It's cool to
HLE
be able to
game's
watch
gonna
it.
be shitty
Yeah,
because of the way that we're doing this.
it's cool to be able to watch it live. Like the band phase gets like announced to the people who can see it, and then you can watch live the 2 teams banning the maps back and forth. And I know at least in the 8th, Snow and Doc are like they're hammering this shit out together, like planning like every possible thing. When it comes to the ban phase, like going back and forth, like okay, they just banned this, like shit.
How long
we
does it
wanted
take?
They've actually been pretty quick with the bans. I would say in total maybe 30 minutes.
Oh wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean they move through it pretty
Well,
fast.
you know why it is quick, though, right? I mean, they didn't ban Foy.
I hope somebody like not in their command structure is like shaking their head like, what the fuck?
They're just
How did we not
they're just
do
going
that?
through, just picking. It's practically a randomizer at this point. You know, they're just like, this point. Get rid of that map. I don't want to do that.
ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Foy allies didn't get.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least you guys are doing middle point.
Hmm.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's definitely gonna be a fun game. But speaking of fun games, you mentioned it earlier, and you said we should talk about it. The 8th game against 3-5 on Hill 400 was hands down the best comp game I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, do you have like a clip of that last 3 minutes? Because I would love to
I don't know about the last 3 minutes.
It sounded exciting. What Feta was telling us.
Hang on.
what went down. I know nothing about it.
So we played. So actually, they probably have it in the ticket. 3-5 versus 8. A picture of it. Okay, so I'll show my screen again. This is how close we came to losing the game, with like literally 1 second left on the clock.
Oh. Oh,
That
damn.
was that was from our perspective. So we held so we captured Hill first because literally like a 1 in a million shot. We were Axis, or no, I'm sorry, we were allies. We were allies, and we
Okay,
had
thanks.
we had one artillery round, which just looks like Chris Stapleton if he had air matches and got there. Anyway, we had one artillery round take out 2 of their transport trucks when the game started.
How many kills was that?
I don't know.
7.
Said so confidently. Well, you know, I don't like to trust that. We've had the issue in the past, you know, like 2 minutes into it, you know, not 2 minutes, but like 1 minute into a mid cap, you know, it's half captured. And then our RT players like, we got the transport truck, and I'm like, it's an empty transport truck on the point, you know. There's always that guy, you know, claiming.
I mean, Hill
phantom
400, Hill 400 midpoint is amazing, right, for the allies, because you can just drive straight to it.
Yes.
And
Yes,
you've
but-
got that barbed wire advantage that the Axis has to go on 2 switchbacks.
But yeah, they did call out that they got 2 transport trucks with Artie, so we were able to cap Hill 400 pretty easily. But like right before the game, 3-5 said that they were down a recon player. So of all the recon players in the comp loose scene, they could have picked,
I've heard that.
and Darkenment was the one that they went for. So I'm like, dude, you guys are literally like the biggest pieces of shit. Like, why of all people did it have to be Dark?
I had 4 minutes of Endarkment sending me voice clips on how 3/5 should have taken the point too.
Oh yeah, I
Like,
talked
I
to
killed
him.
15 guys, took out their garrison. And I was like, where are you?
So yeah, so they get Dark. I'm like, dude, motherfucker. All right. So we capped Hill 400 really without any problem, but then they started pushing like from the northwest side, I think, and they had to have had a garrison close or just like a ridiculous OP network leading up the hill, because what seemed like, you know, obviously 50 people on their team, it felt like they had like fucking 400 attacking that hill because it was nonstop. And we set up the first garrison inside the bunker on the hill, but it was getting satcheled like every single chance. So we were like, dude, we're not gonna, you know, put this point garrison inside the bunker anymore. There's no point. Even when the garrison wasn't in there, it was like every time someone with a satchel got close, they were just placing it on there just for shits and giggles. So
I mean, somebody just has to touch the concrete to lock it out.
yeah, so it was.
I'm not a fan of the whole bunker bullshit.
Yeah, I don't like the bunker garage either. Like, if you've not got control, like, of the area, like, what's it gonna do other than protect from arty? Just put it in
Right.
a trench.
So
it's too,
like
it's too risky.
the hard thing about playing defense on the hill though was the way that we had our garrisons in the backline set up was like it was very hard for me on point to not only dodge the fucking 40 people that were up on the hill from 3-5s with us, but it was really hard for me to find a spot where I could place a garrison that wasn't, within 200 meters of one of our backlines.
Pull the map up. Pull up the points that you have
Hold
on map
Hold on.
loose.
That's why you got to put your backup Garys further back. Leave room
Yeah.
for the point.
Oh, Kapars is in here. Wild.
Hold on.
Yeah. Solid copy. Solid copy.
Yeah.
So, hold on, I'm getting
Blake's.
I'm getting map let loose set up.
Oh, keys down. Is there a chat live for this right now? I keep on pulling up on YouTube. I honestly have no idea. How are people talking in this? Winters.
YouTube.
Oh, yes, YouTube. Keys down.
Hold on.
Well, that's a compliment. Whoever the fuck this guy is.
Veggie, it may be making a return. It may be making a return. Be advised, somehow copies are gonna be over. I'll let you know.
Okay, oh fuck, clear. Okay, so
I just checked my Discord for the first time. This is really funny. Keep those eyes open.
Hans, read my. Alright, hold on. I have someone who wants to join the call.
We're having a good time. Tell him to go fuck himself.
Alright. So, I'm gonna share my screen. To be honest, I don't even know what their fucking fourth point was. Because I was fighting for my life on point. So, here we are, right? Fighting in this fucking shithole.
Mm-hmm.
So originally, like I said, we had the garrison on point, and I want to say we had like our backlines. So I know for us, our fourth point was Bergstein. So I want to say that we had like a garrison.
That's a good backline.
Yeah. So I want to
That's
say
really
we had a garrison like here, and then I think we might have had like another one like fucking. This isn't exact.
Yeah.
But like we had like another one back there, and then we did have one up here near Flak Pits, but that got taken out pretty early, and then they held control up here for a while. So and then we did have, I think their fourth point was Eastern Slope. I'm pretty sure it was Eastern Slope. We did have another garrison for quite a while, like down here, almost. Maybe a little bit farther south. But their main pressure was coming from this area right here. So they were coming like from like the fucking Fox. They were literally coming from like Fox 5, Fox 6, like through this trench network and everything. They made it absolute hell, dude. And then I did notice that in Darkenment, because I know it's in Darkenment because he's like the only one I see fucking only use the FG, but I would see him weasel his fucking ass this way, jump over the trench and get into the bunker. I'm like, dude, you're literally like a fucking rat.
Yeah, I mean, in Darkment is no joke.
Yeah.
He knows it.
Oh yeah. No, he's good shit. He knows it.
And so it wasn't train wreck for 3-5s.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Eastern Slope.
Yeah. Because that route through Trainwreck and Hill 400, that's a pretty good one to get into the point.
Yeah. I'm like 98% certain it was Eastern Slope, but we didn't start applying pressure or capping Eastern Slope until the last like oh shit. Let me get back to the call. We didn't start applying pressure to Eastern Slope until like the last 2 minutes when they put everything on Hill 400, and we tried to start back capping them, but then we're like, there's no point because we're losing the cap race on Hill 400, and if we lose it, we're gonna lose the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's gets to be that point, huh?
Yeah. What's up, Speirs? Glad
What's
to see
up,
you. Can,
man?
glad
Sorry,
to see you
bud.
can make it, dude.
I was 45 minutes from home.
Nah, you're good. So we'll catch you up and get some questions.
I've
your
been
way.
listening on the way home, man.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of a drive.
Yeah. But how's it been over at Berserk now that 4AD's into the fold and everything?
It's good. I mean, not gonna lie, I missed the 4AD way of things. To answer your question that I heard earlier, you were confused on why we didn't keep the 4AD name.
Oh yeah.
Berserk's been around for forever, man. They came over to our server, so we kept our structure and our server and everything, and we just decided to take their name. They've been around longer than we have, so it seemed like a good compromise at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Wild.
Yeah. So I didn't know that they came to 4AD and then you guys changed your name.
hmm
Was
So,
there,
Speirs, you
Go
were
ahead.
in 480 before?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, what was the state at 480 before you brought Berserk over to you guys?
Got to the point where, like Berserk, we were struggling to recruit new people, couldn't field the full 50 at times, and I'm in leadership, but I'm not one of the big heads up there. I just happened to be able to take my original name back when we merged with Berserk and got rid of ranks. So, from what I understand, we just couldn't field the full 50, and they got to talking, and it kind of just took off from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So-
Is Burst still in like leadership in 480?
Burst. Yeah, Burst is my dog, man. I don't know if I hadn't seen Burst in a couple weeks. I know he's got some personal stuff going on, so
Yeah.
he's been kind of MIA for a little bit.
Yeah. So you guys are playing 508P this weekend. How are you feeling about that game?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm excited if we can get everything to go right. Dealing with the growing pains of a merger. So,
Yeah.
if we can get everything to click, it should be a decent game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What has been like? You mentioned the growing pains of a merger. What have like those growing pains been?
Just trying to get everybody on the same page with tactics, man. They had their way of doing things. We had ours. It's just trying to find common ground with everything. That two things coming together.
Yeah.
With the tactics, did one team have like, better tactics or stuff you didn't think about, or was it fairly like equal with the way that you guys played?
In my opinion, it's kind of equal. They do some stuff we got away from before we started the TFL season.
Mm-hmm.
So they still do some of our older tactics. We're still working on new stuff. You know how it is. The game's forever evolving. Yesterday's stuff ain't gonna work today because somebody else knows about it now.
Yeah. Something I just thought about Maho. Obviously the U.S. has a lot. There's a lot of U.S. based clans. The EU doesn't seem like there's a whole lot. Like when you think of the EU clans, you think of Merc, HLLE, teams like that. With there being a smaller amount of EU clans, are you guys easily able to recruit like large numbers of EU players just because there's seemingly not a lot to choose from?
I mean, there is a fair number of EU. I think recruiting's hard. I mean, I don't think it's. I don't know. I struggle to recruit players because I just can't stand playing with new players. I mean, playing with a squad full of blueberries and trying to recruit is painful. Even if you just find that one special guy. I think there's quite a lot of good EU players actually, just sleeping out there, that clans can pick up. I know that Taco have been picking up some good players, I think, recently. You know, with their server, watching their stats, which has been a good recruitment, you know, way of recruitment for them.
Yeah. Another question I have for you, Maho, is seems like people want to know your thoughts on Sunday's scrim. So one of the questions in the chat was, Maho, during the St. Marie game earlier this week, how did Mark lose mid-cap the first time? And then Bearju said, yes, I want to hear Maho's thoughts on Sunday's scrim.
Lose the mid-cap the first time. Oh, the very first. Oh, you guys know how we lost the mid-cap. You guys played us. Well, I think... Yeah, they did a massive kind of bum rush push from the southeast, from my knowledge. If it was like an airhead, half-track Gary, I have no idea what it was, but I remember a flare going up and seeing about 20 guys running across an open field. They captured, but within, I think, like 5 minutes, we recapped the point because we had OPs surrounding it, and they only focused the southeast, so all our OPs got replaced, and they were choked, only in the hard cap. Retake it really quickly with our tanks. I know we had a crazy Panther play where we kind of sacrificed one of our Panthers for one of their 76s.
That was absolutely wild. Yeah.
What happened?
So I was
Go on,
guarding
Hans.
this Panther from the fucking AT, just in case. Or no, sorry, I was guarding the 76. It was I think it was Waffen. It was Waffen and his guys, and we were on Gardens, in that little corridor,
Mm-hmm.
and there was that hill, and the just out of fucking nowhere, a Panther just yeets itself up and over the hill, and it gets side shot on our 76, and I'm just laughing. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? He doesn't know that there's we had three 76s, ready to fucking go. But this one Panther came out to take our 176 out. It took our 76. Iceman got a shot in its ass, and then either Tunney or Maryland took him out. But it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
Like the most cinematic 30 seconds.
Yeah. It was like, who the fuck was that? What are they just jumping over the hill on a Panther?
It's
So,
like-
so Maho, from your perspective, was that completely planned? You're like, all right, I know this Panther's gonna die, but we have to take out one of their 76.
No, no, that was not planned. I think that was more of just fuck it, let's send it type of plan, and it worked. So
Who was it?
I-
Was it Climber?
it was one of our, I think it was Wetwell, one of our TCs, a newer TC coming up.
Well, it was
from
funny.
me. So.
I laughed. I got a kick out of that.
Yeah. So Speirs, what brought you to 4AD the first time? Like, was 4AD the first competitive group that you played with?
Technically yes, but I'm from 7DR, believe it or not. I played Hell Let Loose for a little while, found out about the competitive scene of it. Found 4AD, or not 4AD, 7DR on Facebook. Didn't read the fine print, realized it was a European group. I realized the times wouldn't work, so I was like, nope. Got back on Facebook, said I was looking for a American clan, and then Rick Toffin from 4AD picked me up, and I've been here ever since, playing AT.
Yeah. So I'll get into that question for the other two. Old Hans Puffeldick. What got you into the comp scene the first time?
I was in 3-5. Dude named Bergstorm recruited me. I had one game with the dude that you had on here. I forget his name. It was Gentle.
Gentle, yeah.
And I remember telling my wife after the game, it was against Berserk. I was like, fuck, man, that was the worst thing I've ever done in my life ever playing video games. That was horrendous.
Mhm.
And then, so I left 3-5, like, this is stupid. And then, Tunny and Fatal Watch from 8th now,
Mhm.
got me to join TOCF, and then I wrote that out for like 8 or 9 months.
Yeah.
With a lot of the guys that are now in Merc and 8th and Legion.
So
We got
what?
like 15 guys in Legion from TOCF.
How did you end up over at the 7th, now Legion?
I mean, Roma Dub, if you've ever played with him before, he was the first one to get grabbed by Francis after the 2 losses to the 7th time.
Mhm.
And Roma knew that I could shoot, and then there was some controversy. I kind of wish Snow was here. We can talk about it in a little more depth, but we were talking about either going to the 8th or going to the 7th, and then the whole absolute bullshit happened. And
We'll have to get you back on with Snow so we can talk about that.
Yeah, it was absolute bullshit.
Was it the whole cheating scandal?
Yeah, I mean that really fucked them. Like that really fucked them.
Yeah.
But anyway, I told Snow, like, if your house is in order and your politics are good, then I'll come over, and then Tunny was also gonna come over, and then that whole thing happened. And then Francis was in my DMs, and they were like, "Hey, come join us in the 7th." And we all went over there. You know, eventually, a bunch of our better players went over there from TOCF,
Mhm.
which is all the boys.
Yeah.
Maho now has Snoochie and fucking Ripa and Demon. Great
Yeah,
fucking
so-
players.
So Maho, now getting over to you, and then we'll start wrapping this show up. What got you into the comp scene the first time?
Well, it wasn't really a comp scene when I got into it. I was like, first month really of it getting the game launching, and I just wanted to play with people. Like, I was like, this game stinks, you know, on your own. So I went and joined the first, which is like back then that was like the only, like the biggest clan.
Mhm.
So I was like, fuck it, you know, going in there. I stayed in there for a long time. I think I was like level 250 or something. I don't know how long it was, but pretty long period, and it got pretty bad in there. So I left to join WRTB, and a month after I left, roughly, all of the Merc was created, like broke away from first. So I was bummed because I was like, all of my mates like broke off and went into Merc, and I just joined WRTB, and I was like, well, shit, you know, what do I do? So, I mean, I stayed in WRTB for season 1 of TPL, but after that, I left, took a break on season 2, and started season 3. I was like, fuck it, Merc it is, you know, coming back. Came back, and here I am.
Mhm.
That's essentially my story.
Yeah, what got me into the comp scene the first time was I thought that Blueberry Lobbies was all the game had to offer. I had played the game on and off since the beta, and you know before joining the 21st, and like I said, I thought Blueberry Lobbies was the only thing the game had. So I was like, this sucks. Like, I joined and squad leads aren't putting down OPs. Nobody's talking. Like, this shit's ass. So, you know, I stopped playing it, and then I did the same thing. It's kind of like what Speirs did. Found the 21st on Facebook and joined them, and was with the 21st for about 2 years until I left maybe about a month ago, a little over a month ago. And after that, I joined the 6th. Was with them for a couple days, like maybe a week, and then Snow sent me pictures of his feet, and I'm like, I can't
Fucking wild. Snow's feet.
yeah, I can't turn it down, dude. So went over to the 8th, and I've been loving it ever since.
Snow, I don't think I've ever seen you in a blueberry lobby. Or sorry, Winters. Fucking Snow and Winters, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude, it's like a match made in heaven. Like, I realized that after I joined the 8th, I was like, Snow, Winters, like, it's meant to be. Now, I don't play in blueberry lobbies all that often.
So you only play comp?
Yeah, I mean, I'll play in blueberry lobby. Well, so I used to play in blueberry lobbies, but now I've noticed with the server browser being out, there's almost always a sweat match or like a sweaty lobby that's going on.
Okay.
But
like before like 2 weeks ago, were you like playing a lot? Like we've only had server browser for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Here and there, yeah. I mean, I'm like a level 168 or whatever, and I've been playing the game on and off since the beta. So, I mean, that kind of tells you like everything you need to know. And it's also like I have gotten burnt out on Hell Let Loose so many times. And I think the 21st had a lot to do with it. I enjoyed the majority of my time there, so I'm not gonna, just shit all over them. But, like, I had some really good memories from the 21st. Like, at one point, thinking back to Summit 1, I mean, that's where Barkin and Darkament came from. So, obviously, the 21st wasn't shit, its entire existence, but I played a lot of blueberry lobbies there. And then towards the end of my time in the 21st, my son has started to get older. He's like a year and 8 months now, so playing in blueberry lobbies during the day got really hard because I had to spend more time with him. But mainly now I'll play in the sweaty lobbies and comps.
Copy. So coming from the 8th, I know a couple of people have said pretty publicly that the 8th would do better if Snow took over the defense and let somebody else take over command. Have you guys thought about implementing that?
Not really. So all I've seen, I'm not involved or have any clue in how Doc makes our rosters. Because Snow is not the one. I mean, Snow obviously has an input, but Snow is not the one that publishes our comp rosters. That's all done by Doc. How he goes about doing it, I don't know. I do know at least against 3-5s. I wasn't the only one who left the 21st.
Right. I know Twiggy is with you.
Yeah, it was me, Twiggy, Cloth, Dunn, and a couple of the other, arguably best squad leads from the 21st all left as one big group. Yes, Snow got me off of Grinder, Snoochie. You caught me. Fucking douchebag. But to simply answer your question, like I haven't seen any conversation about that be done. It just seems like every time the roster's put out, Snow's the commander, and it's been that way all through TFL. I know one thing that did feel good joining the 8th was how quickly they trusted the guys from the 21st to jump right in and compete with them. When I was in the 21st, I was mainly a defensive SL, and that's what the 8th has kind of pushed me into. It's kind of like an inside joke. Like I told Doc that I feel like I'm in the void of perma SL, and like I'll request, like we have like a little ticket system like to mark if you're coming to the game what role you want to play, and if I try to select anything other than squad lead, either Doc changes my my ticket to squad lead, or he'll send me a DM of just a laughing emoji, and I know what that fucking means is that I'm gonna be defensive squad lead again. So, I don't know how much different it would be if Snow took over defense. Besides thinking like playing from a commander, thought process of protecting backlines and shit.
Or like building the backline Garrus. Like Snow's decent at the backline Garrus, but it seemed like interesting. Um, it seemed like he really needed somebody else to take command, and then he could really focus on the backline Garrus, and then just
Mhm.
complement the commander.
Yeah,
Is
Yeah, I
is
think
how
the
I
only-
looked at it.
The only other commander that I could see that would jump right into it would be Doc. I mean, not saying that they're the Twiggy can do it. Twiggy's a very good, I guess, tactically minded player, and so is Cloth. There's other people within the eighth that have that same thought process, and it seems like, funnily enough, and maybe you guys would agree to this, so I'll just ask this as an open-ended question. Would you guys say that defensive-minded players make better commanders?
No.
That's you, Maho.
Oh, why is that me? I don't know. It's just Garrison's, isn't it? Defending. I don't even know where to start with that. I mean, no, I don't know. It's just building garrisons, isn't it? As a commander,
Yes.
managing
Alright.
resources.
All right. Yes. Defensive squad leads make better commanders.
You think
Woof-
so? Really?
Yeah. Like Woof was full-time defense for the 7th. He is like one of the best commanders in the game. Awake has never fucking lost a game, which is wild to me. But like Woof is so defensive. Like, if you get under 6 Garys at any point in time, it's like, hey, we need to fucking clear the shit out of this. Like, we should never have under 6 Garys at any point in the game.
Mhm.
So I think defensive commanders are the key. At least people that understands it.
Well, defensive commanders, but I think having an offensive squad lead doesn't mean he can't command well.
That
You know.
wasn't the question.
Okay, maybe I miss.
Well, my question was, do you think defensive-minded players make better commanders? Speirs, you were very quick at
Yeah,
saying
sure.
no.
I mean, defense is a priority, right? You can't lose your point if you're trying to cap the other point, and if you cap mid, you don't need to really capture anything else. So, sure, but I think having pressure on the enemy gives you it frees up a lot of options, for your defense. Generally, keeping the pressure on. If you're just focusing defense, you can defend for the whole game 100%. But it doesn't mean like an offensively minded commander taking that opportunity is a bad commander. But with what Hans said with the garrisons, I think it's pretty much fair. I mean, trying to get 8 Garys up all the time, at least 6, fair point.
Yeah, Speirs, you were very quick to say no.
I say no, but all reality, in my opinion, it depends on the situation. We've had very good luck. We have 3 or 4 different commanders over at Berserk who can play at any point in time. They're all very, very capable. Uncle's one of them. Osiris is now one of them, and we have Goober as well. Goober's a very offensive-minded squad lead, or not squad lead, commander. He does a great job at it. With that being said, he still does his defensive stuff. He's all the time putting up defensive garrisons, and like Hans said, if you have less than 5-6 garrisons, it can very quickly become a problem if they lock out 3 at one time, which we've had happen before. very quickly can get out of hand if you have less than 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Uncle's he's a mix between both. He can play a defensive game or he can play an offensive game. Just depends on the situation that we've put him in.
Mhm.
Most of the time, it's never anything he's done. It's whether or not we actually listen to him or not.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll I'll end the show with my answer. I agree with Hans. I definitely think defensive minded players make better commanders, only because it seems like garrisons win you the game. Obviously, holding midpoint wins you the game, but seems like seemingly the only way to hold midpoint against really good teams is your garrisons, how many garrisons you have up, and the placement. And you know, offensive squad leads, especially like meat grinder squad leads and backline squad leads, whatever, they're not so much focused on getting garrisons up. Their whole point is just to attack the point. Dude, Hans, you're fucking gone, dude.
No, I agree with everything you're saying.
But it seems like getting the garrisons put back up and protecting the backline and everything, that falls on the defensive squad leads. So they're not only worrying about holding the point, but also like you're dealing with someone like Endarkenment who is just harassing your backlines and taking garrisons out. If you don't get those put back up, that just opens a whole avenue for an offensive push to come from. So defensive squad leads are constantly worrying about garrisons more so than the attacking squad leads are. So I think that plays right into being a commander, because you're not going to see a commander up on the front lines attacking because he doesn't. You shouldn't, at least in my opinion, because if he's dead, then he can't call in anything until he comes back. So at least the way that I run Commander is strictly focusing on garrisons and calling in shit when people need it. So I think defensive squad leads make better commanders.
Yeah, absolutely.
But all right, well, we're
everybody wants the competition scene to get better and hell loose.
yeah. But all right, guys. Well, we're actually about to hit an hour and a half. Maho, I know it's pretty fucking late for you. Hans, you've been fucking pounding that wine, dude.
The second bottle. Maho, Bearju's been asking for a face reveal for the last.
No way. No way. Absolutely no. Not a chance.
I don't know, dude.
It's a girl.
I don't know, dude. Francis was the same way until we convinced him.
Yeah. Francis is pretty good looking, huh?
He is, dude, except for his fucked up thumbs, because he's pressing on his fucking...
Oh, yeah, I wanted
too
to show
hard.
this. This is as far as I can get my thumb back.
Looks like the thumb of a toddler.
That's right. That's fucking right. Thumb of the toddler. I legit can't get it any farther back.
Is that just how you were, like, were you born wrong, or did, like, something happen?
I think I was born right. Thank you very much.
Is that like that on both hands? Oh yeah, dude, you were born wrong. So like, dude, you're always in an attacking position if someone asks you for a thumb war. Like, you have no defense, you're just all attack, dude.
That's right. Don't you?
It's like
forget.
you can't even like do a thumb war with somebody without getting accused of cheating because you're like already trying to hold their thumb down.
Yeah. Absolutely wild.
Yeah, alright, dude, yep. So we have a confirmed fucking thumb war cheater.
Yeah.
Bear Juice said looks like the thumb that inspired the thumbs from Spy Kids.
Do you guys want to know what the drinking game was tonight?
Sure.
The 1 through 12.
Mhm.
Tunny, can you type in number 7 and number 12, please? Or number 10. Number 7 and 10. So we had every time Autistic Berserk changes his hats, you have to finish drink by Gabagool. Every time somebody hits a vape, you have to take a drink. Every time somebody says something about Legion, you have to take a drink. Every time We're gonna skip number 4. Anytime Winters talks about his air mattress, take a drink.
Okay, that's Divinity's fault. I wouldn't bring it up if he would just shut up about it.
Every time Mahojoe says "cunt," take a drink. That never fucking happened. I don't know what you were thinking, Stagey. That was bullshit. Every time somebody gets cut off mid-sentence, take a drink. Every time somebody bitches about playtimes with TFL and Summit, take a drink. Every time Maho does his goose laugh, take a drink. And then I know for a fact, every time Han says something wild, take a drink. I don't know what the other one is, though. They're not helping me out here. Every time you take a drink, we have to drink. Oh, God. That's terrible. I just learned that one. Fuck. That sucks. I just drank
Bro, you done got
two
about
bottles
4
of
people
wine.
fucking toasted.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well,
Yeah, it was a good time. Thanks
yeah,
for
we're
having
gonna
me
wrap
on.
it up. Yeah, of course, dude.
Yeah.
I
Sorry I was
appreciate-
late. My
Oh,
bad.
you're good, dude. L in the chat for Snow fucking dipping out, saying he can't make it 10 minutes
Yeah.
before the show started.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to Snow at some point. So
Yeah, we can definitely get you on a future episode. Right now, I know I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. As of right now, the only guest I have lined up is that dude from the 34th, which is going to be interesting to talk to them because they're seemingly like a brand new team.
Yeah. I think HLE, WRTV, 47th. Those would be good guys to get on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, yeah, you gotta get breezy in here.
Get some taco guys on as well. That'd be
Yeah.
interesting.
Taco guys are way too nice.
Yeah.
What about like Forrest? Does anybody reach out to Forrest?
No.
Would be a good one.
But if you guys want me to get people on the podcast, use that ticket system in Complet Loose. It's designed for people to either request to be on the show or give me names of people you would like to see on the show. Because right now, I'm only really getting people on the show that want to be. I mean, sometimes I'll reach out to people to get them on, but a lot of the times it's people that approach me first, saying that they want to be here. So if you want me to get somebody on the show that I haven't thought about, just hit me up and let me know.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get to Sylvia for weeks about how to get on this thing. He's like, no, we're not letting your uncultured ass on that podcast.
Is it Sylvia or is it Saliva?
It's Sylvia.
You sure?
What everybody else says, I went along with it.
All right. Well, I want to do a shout out to Linda, Quiva, and fucking Martha, part of the Legion's Babies group. Thanks for sticking around. All the
Yeah.
guys' wives that came and hung out tonight. That was cool.
Yeah, that's cool. But all right, well, you guys have a good rest of your night. Hans, I'll definitely try to get you on a future episode with Snow so you guys can talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you guys have a good night. I appreciate everyone showing up in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, all right, hold on. If you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't subscribed, it just do it, dude. It takes like not even half a second just to click one button. Like, you guys always say, like, I'm going in my queso bag and everything. Well, I can't, make money off this shit if you guys don't fucking subscribe. So, just do it.
This is way too much fun. You want to make money off of it?
Yeah,
Come on,
dude.
boy,
like,
you gotta subscribe. We gotta get winners off that damn air mattress.
all right, yeah, I'm ending the show.
Thanks, winners. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course.
It was
Thanks,
good.
guys.
Appreciate it, boss.
Yeah, thanks, guys.